Many of us believe it is impossible to make big changes without causing chaos or disruption. We have a tendency to overvalue individual actions and overlook what might be the making of small but continual advances over time. Realistic growth emerges from the compounded influence of numerous trivial choices or small behavioral patterns. Even small changes in our everyday routines can gradually bring about significant transformations in our lives. Believe it or not, it's the tiny details that often make the biggest difference. Welcome to Financial Psychology, the place to understand the mindsets of the rich and unlock your wealth potential. In this video, we are going to cover the important highlights from the book Atomic Habits by James Clear, and you will learn why these principles used by millionaires have been the key to their success. Taking these steps in your life can help you gain the success that you have been striving for. Make the changes and watch your dreams become reality. Most people tend to want to make big changes and expect instant success when in reality, it is actually the small decisions and habits that make all the difference that can bring considerable transformation over time. An effective way to view the situation is through basic mathematics. If you improve your skills by just 1% each day, those gains will build up for the duration of a year, and by engaging in the process of continuous improvement, you will end up 37 times better than when you began. There are 4 stages involved in the creation of habit formation. Step 1. Awareness. It's common for people to think that a lack of motivation is their biggest issue when it's actually a lack of clarity. It can seem like all you need is to just have more willpower or force yourself to stick to your habits. But in reality, what you really need is to be clear on why this habit is important and what the end result will look like. Every day, many of us have dreams to learn a new skill, meditate daily, start a side hustle to make more money, or get in shape, but lack a clear plan for achieving them. Consequently, we wake up and constantly ask ourselves if we'll be motivated to get started or to keep doing what we told ourselves we were going to do. It feels like we have no control over whether or not we will have the strength to achieve our goals. Rather than leaving your drive and motivation up to chance, you can set yourself up for success by taking control of specifying when, where, and how you'd like to cultivate the habit. By taking the guesswork out of it, you'll be more likely to stick with your plan. Creating and executing a successful plan is no easy feat. Despite having the best of intentions, it can be incredibly difficult to move through the various steps of a plan without facing some significant roadblocks. However, with the right planning and strategy, any goal can be achieved. For example, if you want to start building muscle and ensure you stay consistent with your exercise goals, you have to have a plan in place. That way, when life throws a curveball and you can't work out on Monday at 5 like you planned, then have a backup plan to go to the gym Tuesday morning at 7 a.m. This way, you can adjust for any unexpected changes that come up in the future. Step 2. Desire. Our physical environment has a huge impact on our habits and behavior, which can often be overlooked. It is fascinating to really look into how we make decisions, as the things we often don't even realize are that what surrounds us is what drives our desires. But the good news is, you don't have to just accept your current situation. Taking control of the world around you is a powerful way to shape your behavior and help you reach your goals. With thoughtful design, you can create an environment that encourages positive behaviors and discourages those that are not conducive to your goals. Small changes to the way you set up your workspace or plan out tasks, you can significantly improve how productive and successful you are. For example, if you want to learn a new skill, get a book, and when you make your bed in the morning, put it on top of the pillow. So when you come back that night, it will be easier for you to pick it up and read a few pages before you go to sleep. Or if you want to start to exercise more frequently, put a dumbbell right in the middle of your living room so you run across it all the time. Our wants and needs can be heavily influenced by our environment. If the atmosphere is negative, it's near impossible to form good habits and stick with them. You might be able to push past it or have the willpower to do the right thing for 1 or 2 days, but if you keep struggling against temptation, it will be hard to stick with it. Step 3. Action. The key to forming habits is just to get going and put in the effort. It can be daunting and overwhelming, but it doesn't have to be. By focusing on the basics first and putting in the effort, you can establish healthy habits that will stick with you for a lifetime. Breaking down the process into manageable steps and taking it one day at a time is key to forming any habit successfully. Success is possible to achieve, no matter what you're trying to accomplish. All it takes is patience, dedication, and consistent effort. Repeating the necessary steps over and over again is the key to reaching your goals. Whether it's improving your fitness level, learning a new language, or mastering a skill, anything is achievable if you keep taking small steps forward each day. Keep your focus on where you start out, not just the end goal. When it comes to forming new habits and setting goals, it's all about taking small steps first. Our minds are always fixated on the end result, like how much weight we want to shed or how much money we want to make, so we tend to ignore that the journey matters more than reaching the destination. Starting something can be the hardest part of any task. We often get stuck in the never-ending cycle of planning, analyzing, and overthinking, which can prevent us from getting started. However, focusing on the end result can sometimes be overwhelming and discouraging. Instead, it's important to make the initial stages as easy as possible so we can start working on it right away. Stage 4. Enjoy. We repeat behaviors simply because we reap enjoyment and rewards from them. If you don't get any satisfaction from the process, it's likely you won't stick with it long term. That's why it's so important to figure out ways to reward yourself in the present moment. The problem with forming good habits is that the benefits come later on. That's why it's important to find ways to make the reward tangible in the present moment so you can consistently stick with your good habits. If you want to stick with something long-term, like developing a new skill, going to the gym, or other activities, you need to find ways to enjoy it in the short term by getting immediate feedback. This way, it'll be much easier to keep up with long-term behavior. Say you want to make money making videos on YouTube. Get a calendar and treat it as your progress tracker. Whenever you sit down to make content for YouTube for 15 minutes, mark that day with an X. Even if you don't always hit the 15 minutes every day, you may stumble along the way, but eventually, it'll become a regular routine. Consistent content creation is key. So when you get into the groove and manage to create 4 or 5, 6, 7, 8 days in a row, your main aim should be to just not break the daily habit you are building, regardless of the quality or if it actually gets used in your videos. What's interesting about this is that you'll get an immediate reward by measuring your progress. As you work hard to create a certain amount of videos, or spend time on improving your brand identity online, the results can be quite slow, and sometimes it feels like you're not getting anywhere. That's why it's great when you can find a way to get something back at the moment. So if you do just 15 minutes a day, you can cross that off your calendar. And that's a way to get an immediate hit and a little bit of reward by tracking it. The more evidence that we have for a belief, the more likely we are to believe it. So if you've gone running every week for 5 years, you identify as a runner. If you paint every Tuesday night for 20 minutes, you believe that you are an artist. We can often be scared that we need to leave behind ourselves in order to become something new, but really it's not like that. It's possible to achieve your goals while still maintaining who you are. Little by little, you can transform into a new person. Just by doing small things continuously, you can create different outcomes and ultimately redefine your identity. Consistency and repetition are key to making this happen. It's what you do regularly that makes you who you are, because over the broad span of time, things that you do once or twice fade away, so each action you take is like a vote for the type of person you want to be. If you're trying to reinvent yourself, then the best way to do that is by taking new actions. This will help build up proof of the person you want to be. The more votes you get, or small wins, the more likely it is that you'll win the election. You don't have to be perfect or get every vote, just keep at it. Real transformation isn't just about changing behaviors or getting different results. It's about changing your identity. Your objective shouldn't be to do something, like read a book, but to become somebody, a reader, and the same goes for writing. Aim to become a writer, not just write a book or an article. It's incredible how our habits can have an immense impact on our lives. If we can modify these behaviors, then it can lead to a significant transformation of ourselves and the beliefs we hold dear. The journey of self-discovery and creating the identity that you want is all possible through changing your habits. If you found this video useful, spread the word and let someone else take advantage of it. It could be really helpful for them.